I got the horse right here.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Monday, August the 31st races at Hastings. We do have 7 races on tap.
4 o'clock post time.
Yeah, early draw. We're going early. It was actually successful last week. We had
the handle was very good.
Almost 600 grand. It was, pretty nice for a Monday card, but should be a lot of fun. But before we get
into that, we're going to go back and look at 3 more replays from last Friday. The first one we're going to look at is the 4th race, which was the Richmond Derby Trial. Horse to keep an eye on here, obviously the one, Bluegrass Angus, who has stamped himself as the local favorite.
Aditio broke him, but Pedro decided to settle off, which is a good move.
Yep.
And Pedro had Aditio comfortably sitting in second behind Richard Hamill and Bluegrass Angus, and those two set comfortable fractions. Berard Breeze still not rating well, still over racing a bit, was laying in 3rd. Brother Duster was 4th, and
Don't Hold Me Back in the last spot. 23, basically 24.
Comfortable. Yeah, no pressure being put on here. Bluegrass Angus under the stands the first time, and Aditya just right on Richard Hamill's boot. Really still not putting pressure on. Those two are kind of trying to turn it into a match race for the last 3/8 of a mile.
But Bluegrass Angus is getting a little bit away from him here. Aditya having trouble keeping up with him.
47.4, pretty comfortable fractions.
Berard Breeze.
You're going to Berard Breeze in a drive, early drive, trying to creep up, but they're going to draw away on Berard Breeze.
Aditya still pressuring Bluegrass Angus. 112 flat.
That was good. That was a pretty solid third quarter.
Yeah.
And Bluegrass Angus still pretty tight lines for Richard Hamill. You can see Pedro Alvarado's under a ride on Aditya. Who's still a very nice horse.
Yeah.
And he'd run 2 weeks ago. That was coming back quick for Aditya in 13 days. So Bluegrass Angus had been pretty fresh. And coming up the inside is Don't Hold Me Back, who just benefited from Aditya trying to win the race.
Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations to Copperwater Thoroughbreds. Richard Hamill, Craig McPherson, and Bluegrass Angus stamps himself as, of course, a top BC Derby threat. On to our next race.
Next one we're going to look at was the 7th race. It is the Hong Kong Jockey Club for 3
prep
basically
for fillies, the Oaks Trial.
Yeah. Horse to keep an eye on here is the one, Morning Coffee, the 2, Sailing for the Sun, who Robbie Anderson kind of finally has her turned around where she is putting in better performances after some.
And she botches the break here. Watch this. The 2 just gets left bad. And the 2 is Sailing for the Sun, who is one of the favorites. She's like 7 lengths behind Morning Coffee, who's going to just gear it down. And here comes Jeff Birmingham.
Angling towards the inside.
Scooting up the inside, running off. To get in position, which was ended up being a good move. It's never a good move to run off, but early in a race. But
gets up and gets on the inside of
just
Morning
kind of
Coffee
puts
here.
a little angst into Morning Coffee, but still, that was a lot of work to be done there.
Yeah.
But Morning Coffee sitting comfortably on the outside. Ambleside Park down on the inside was laying
Beauty,
3rd. Perhaps the trip to Seattle might have. She wasn't as dynamic as she was in Seattle. I just thought she'll be better in the Oaks. She's a nice quality filly, Ambleside Park. Bridal Beauty's laying 3rd, and I forget who was laying all.
Race the Wind.
Race the Wind was the distant trailer. But these two now clear off, Sailing for the Sun and Morning Coffee.
Again,
Tougher Sailing for the Sun here.
Yeah.
She's got to do all the fighting because Morning Coffee's been pretty fresh, and Sailing for the Sun had to rush up to be with her, and now it's.
And they went. I mean, the fractions aren't crazy, but
the interior fractions were pretty.
Yeah.
23 and 4, and then 23 and 4 again. Those are fast.
Yeah.
And
Morning Coffee.
Morning Coffee is a nice filly.
She is your favorite for the Oaks and drawing away here.
But I like the way Sailing for the Sun hung in.
Yeah, she fights back.
She's running at the end here. I mean, the other 3 fillies are, Ambleside Park runs 3rd, but I like the way. I know the fractions were kind, but still, Morning Coffee's your horse. I mean, great,
Sailing for the
congratulations.
Sun. I like to see Sailing for the Sun coming back. She was so impressive breaking her maiden. and
Gotta
then
get
just
someone to rake her
absolutely
better.
didn't show up for a couple races. Showed up on BC Cup Day, and she looks to be in
No,
good
she's
form
back
now.
in good form. But congratulations to the Wheeldon Thoroughbreds
Yep,
and
Mike Wheeldon.
Rosie Anderson and of course
Pedro Alvarado, who did get the late double. We're going to watch the 8th race now, which was the BC Cup Classic. Going a mile and an eighth for older BC breds.
Gotta feel the 6 here.
Horse, keep an eye on here. Herbie D, the 2 horse, who does go to the lead, as per usual. Brass and Gold up on
Always
inside.
breaks good.
Yeah,
Brass and Gold is one of the best breaking
Ben
horses.
Johnson out of the blocks there.
He leaves there good all the time. But Herbie D gets the lead, and here comes Cowie Creek.
Goes up to maybe compromise Herbie D's chances. Putting heavy pressure on Herbie D here.
Deputy's Command's laying far closer than he ever did in his career. He's laying on the outside of Brass and Gold, and then there's a gap back to Wilo Cat.
Twist grips, yeah.
And twist grips. But, yeah, Cowie Creek set some ambitious fractions.
Yeah, 23 and 2.
And Herbie D's laying only a couple lengths off of him. Brass and Gold's got a nice spot in third.
They're going 46 and
46
4.
and 4.
Yeah, that's quick.
And Deputy's Command is laying in fourth, pardon me. And then Wilo Cat's Creek, or no, that's Twist Grips. Then Wilo Cat is
Wilo Cat's last one. He
trailing.
runs a good one, yeah.
Yeah. But these two are, as I mentioned, going a mile and an eighth, 23 and 1, 46-4. Those are some pretty solid fractions, and things start to lessen here. They can only go 112 and 2, but Brass and Gold's getting a pretty nice trip in behind. Deputy's Command's on his outside, and
oh, we froze.
we're frozen.
I can still hear him. At any rate,
I can still hear Dan calling
Yeah,
it. Brass and
that's
Gold
right.
is making the lead.
Brass and Gold does
There
make
we
it. He
go,
goes off to win by
right.
little under 3 lengths.
You know, he
over
ran a
Herbie
good
D,
race.
Who stayed ahead of Wilo Cat by half length.
He's a cool horse, Brass and Gold. He's always had the tackle, the Mr. Bowlings and the Moderns and the title contenders, and he's always done well. But congratulations to the Bennett's, Barb Heads, and
Pedro Alvarado.
Pedro Alvarado, late double. Nice win on Brass and Gold to close out that Friday night program. Let's get into the Monday program. I got to feel this. We have 7 races on the Monday program, which does start at 4 o'clock. $8,000 fillies and mares are going to kick it off. Non-2, non-3. I've ended up on the 2. I'm going to take a shot on the 2 Quiet Finality. Don't love the horse, but I don't see a lot of speed in here. I was looking for someone to get to the lead.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Quiet Finality is that horse. She's had an outside draw last time against $16,000 horses. Fire Beauty, Blended, and Xenia, way better horses. She might be able to get to the Chooch and get Brave. I don't know. I'm going to try her to win it.
Yeah.
I put the 5 horse Bubbly on Ice, who's always been dangerous. Good second last time, Habita. Hasn't run for almost 2 months though, but still got to put her in the mix. And I put the 1 horse Biscuit in for third. But I think it's 2-5, 5-2. Yeah. That's what I did.
I put Bubbly on
2-5-1.
Ice on top. I thought Habita's on a roll right now, so she ran into a pretty tough one last time when Habita dropped in to get eligible for our starter series. Habita ran away and won by 7 that day, but Bubbly on Ice was second best, and a horse that's always, we thought was better.
Right.
And in for 8, she should be tougher. Good work back on August 15th in 1 minute and 4/5. I put a Riki Princess in the second spot, another one that they were quite high on early on in her
ran a
career.
lot for me alone.
Yeah, right. I know that they thought highly of her. Took the drop down to 4,000. She got a win. I'm hoping that off that win she gets some confidence and can be competitive in a 8 non-2 non-3. And I put Quiet Finality, your top pick, in the third spot. I went 5, 4, and 2 in the first. On to the second. Maiden 25 for 3-year-olds and up. I went to the 6 horse here, Perfectly Reckless. One of the more lightly raced horses in this field. I thought a pretty good showing the first time, then only got beat 2.5 lengths by a few of these. The odds are good. Captain Jones. I didn't feel like maybe he got a whole lot out of the first race. I think he's going to get more out of that second start. Richard Hamill sticks with him. I like him coming into this race, and a good work for him on August 21st in 1 minute flat. I put him on top. I put It's in Command, the Harold Barabee runner, who just ran third behind, led the whole way. He might be the speed. There's not a lot of gas in here, and he might get away from them. If Torneador doesn't go, maybe It's in Command gets away from a little bit. Mark Buchanan can be very dangerous on the lead. Only got beat 2 lengths last time, but the odds are good in Captain Jones. And I put Captain Jones, who's been running very tough all year, threw 1 clunker in, but really showed up last time for 25, just getting beat ahead by the odds are good. I went 6, 1, and 5, but the one that I left out was Torneador, and I could see him being tough in here too.
Yeah, that's what I've gone to. I just, the horse ran in a stakes race last time. Got on, was out there with the ditch, got buried by a ditch. So when you get buried on the head end, you're going to run nowhere.
You're going to.
Prior to that, his race behind Berard Breeze and the next out winner, the odds are good, was quite good. He was battling on the head end, and I thought he ran a winning race. And in here for 25, I think he's the horse. Amadeo Perez was aboard that day, and he's going to be, or actually it was Reyes. But that's my eyes. Over, I know I can't see. But it doesn't matter, Amadeo Perez or Antonio Reyes. They're both talented riders, but Torreador looks live to me in here. I put the 1 horse It's in Command in for second. Good 3rd place run last time. Ahead of Captain Jones, or behind Captain Jones, and those two were interchangeable for me. But I thought It's in Command did a lot more fighting on the head end. And had to do the battling. And I went 3, 1, 5. It did leave pretty reckless, or perfectly reckless out, but I can see that horse improving.
Those are the 4, I think.
Those are your 4 horses in here. But I went 3, 1, and 5 in the Monday second. On the 3rd race, $16,000 3-year-olds here going, or 3 and up, going a mile on the 16th. I ended up on the 2 Irish Romeo. I'm going to hope that this horse can move forward off of his conditional form into open company. I like the way this horse was hitting the line. I know he loses Richard Hamill to Bear Rock and Roll, and I don't blame the connection, or the agent or Richard for wanting to ride, who wouldn't want to ride Bear Rock and Roll. But Irish Romeo's a cool horse, and he impressed me that day. And I'm going to think maybe he can handle open company, and he might be 4 or 5 to 1. So I'm going to try him over Bear Rock and Roll, who is the obvious choice. He's a neat horse. Did lose to Go for Guinness last time, and I'm going to put Go for Guinness in for 3rd. But I mean, those two are. The 2, 5, 6 for me are kind of the horses. Bear Rock and Roll and Go for Guinness are interchangeable, but I just hope an Irish Romeo is the up-and-coming horse that can maybe, at a price, maybe win it.
I put Go for Guinness on top. Dropped into an all-time low last time for 12.5, which is basically the same race as this. This one's for 16, but it's basically the same race. Lowest price of his life. Worked good going into that, looked good winning. I put him on top of Bear Rock and Roll, who he did just hang on to defeat. And I put Step Up for the money in the 3rd spot. I thought a very good race 2-back behind Senior Rojo. When there was a really good pace on, if there's pace on in here, look for him to come running late. And Pat Jarvis, as I mentioned in the last show, is going great guns
She's warmed up.
6, 5, 1 for me in the 3rd. On to the 4th. 2-year-old maiden special weight. Me and Mike have all different horses here. There's 10 of them. I had
no idea. This is a grab bag.
Yeah, this is tough. A lot of them haven't run. I went to a horse that has run. Just got beat a length and a half by Power Crop last time. Don't Tell My Husband. It was a low price last time. Figures to be a low price again today. He's in the 10 hole, but Pedro.
It's a filly. Filly against the boys, but still, it's the horse ran against the boys last time.
Yeah, 2-year-olds, pretty interchangeable. You can run the girls against the boys. I put Don't Tell My Husband on top with her recent form. I put Sunscape out of the Robbie Anderson barn. Was in that same race and ran 3rd, but out of free quarter time. I could see him moving forward in his 2nd start. I thought he had a good showing in his 1st race. And I put McDove, Steve McDonald's horse, trained by Mark Cluche, in the 3rd spot. That worked back on August 6th, 36 and 1 out of the gate. I know his other horse, Mighty Mesa, has a more recent 36 and 1 out of the gate. But this is a filly by Proud Citizen that Steve paid $40,000 for at Keeneland. So that swayed me that way. I went McDove, as well as the name. McDove. I'm McDoving it. 10, 3, and 4 for me.
Yeah, it is a race where, once again, this is one of those races where you have to go to the paddock and have a look at them all. I mean, to me, any of the horses that have started, I haven't been enthused with.
Yeah.
They've run good.
Yeah.
They're fine. But I think one of the first time starters will win the race, and I didn't. I don't have any inside information on who's going to win, but I mean, just looking on form, the 2-horse Mighty Mesa has, a good pedigree, a good win early pedigree with Sky Mesa. The the works are nice. Mark Buchanan does some work for Mark Cloutier, and I just think this horse might be pretty alive. Put the 7-horse Soul Cat, who's had a good win early family. Fancy Cats won her debut, actually the mare under Mario Gutierrez. And the works are good for this horse as well. Amadeo Perez shows up. You always want to pay attention when where do the top riders go, and and sometimes that'll maybe lead you to the winner. But I put that horse in for second. I put the 5-horse Groot, who Richard Hamill shows up on, for third, who has had some chances. Obviously, the horse clipped heels and fell 2 starts back last time. No excuse, no excuse. But it was a stakes race, so it's back in against stakes or maiden company. So, but there are a lot of chances. I can see one of your horses, Nick Dove. I can see a lot of the first-time starters. Actually, pay attention to the tote board. Look at them in the paddock. But I went 2, 7, and 5 in race number 4. On to the 5th race, $4,000 claimer. It's a little easier handicapping event here. Going a mile on the 16th. I ended up on the 10-horse Lord Gallivic. He impressed me last time, winning off easy. I got to follow him back. I know he's up slightly in class, but there's some speed in here. You look at around, there are horses that are going to go out there, and I think Lord Galvic's going to get a pretty good pace to run at. But the 3-horse At the Ritz, who I've liked a few times, didn't cash on him last time, but At the Ritz, definitely in good form. And I put the 8-horse Briarwood County, who could be the speed. And if he gets away and everyone leaves him alone, doesn't bug him, leading rider Richard Hamill aboard, this horse can route too. I went 10, 3, and 8, pardon me. But those are your 3 horses. I don't know if I really want anyone else. Just looking around, Lord Harlow, no. I think those are the ones, 10, 3, 8.
I went all to the outside. I did put Briarwood County on top. He has run very good going along in the past. He's going to win one of these days. He's chalk every time. He just keeps getting nipped late. Maybe going long, that route speed is a little easier.
It is. You get to set comfortable fractions. It's not like you don't have to go to the 22, 45 and keep going like you do sprinting. You can go 24, 48, and maybe a lot of times.
Yeah, he's 4 for 6 lifetime in the money going long, so it's not like he can't route. He has the back class. I put him on top. Richard Hamill sticks with him. I put Halo's Quest in the 2nd spot. He ran a big one last time. Got beat by Honestly Ossifer, who had dropped down off the claim for Dino Condolinos and was well meant in there. He got beat by a heavy favorite in there, but really turned around his form and ran a big one. And I put your top pick, Lord Gallivic, in the 3rd spot. I went to the horses that have been running in this condition. I stayed away from the ones that are coming out of the non-3s just because they're in a little bit deeper water now. I went 8, 9, and 10 in the 5th. On to the 6th. 3-year-olds and up claiming 16,000, non-2, non-3, going long. I went to the 5 here, Laguna Blaze. He's coming out of tough races where he's running against Senior Rojo, Step Up for the Money. Before that, he only got beat 6 lengths, by title contender in Taylor's Deal. This is a much softer spot. Keyshawn Balgobin's going great guns right now. Good buyer last time. He's my pick in here. I like Laguna Blaze. Put Finally Diamonds after a trip to Emerald Downs last time in a 25 non-2. And the horses at Emerald, it's funny how the ebb and flow of the tide that some, throughout time periods, our horses here are much better than theirs. Then they get better than us. Then we're better than them. Right now, I think the horses coming from Emerald are very tough. And for him to go down there...
That was a tough race. I know that was a tough race.
Yeah, and to run into he ran against Brackendale here. Then he goes down there, runs a 25 non-2. That's not a soft spot. He only got beat 6 lengths. I actually watched that race in the paddock that night with Barb. I put him in the 2nd spot. And I put Heartset, recent maiden breaker. Richard Hamill climbs aboard for owner George Morgan, Mike Anderson. Went in for 12.5. Broke his maiden stylishly by 6 lengths. This is a logical place for him to end up in a 16 non-2. That race is going long too. He is better going long, being by Super Saver. Yeah, 5, 2, 4 for me.
Yeah, I agree with your top 2. I just flipped them around. I think Finally Diamonds can win the money, but I agree. Laguna Blaze is live. Those 2 horses
you picked Laguna Blaze.
I did?
Yeah.
No. I did pick Finally Diamonds.
Okay, we'll switch that around.
We'll switch them around by the time they... But I like Finally Diamonds over Laguna Blaze.
It's that close. You can't decide.
You can't even decide. But Laguna Blaze is live. The horse, as you mentioned, running against Rojo and Step Up for the Money, Taylor's Deal, title contender. I mean, this horse has been running.
Brackendale.
But Finally Diamonds has to get back here at Hastings. He's a big, tall horse.
Yeah,
he's probably not as... you know, you might not get the most out of him at Hastings on a bull ring than as you would at Phoenix, where he was running good, or at Emerald Downs. But he's a horse that, you know, is in a good spot. 16 on 2 hits him right on the head.
This is his spot, yeah.
And Laguna Blaze, same thing, gets out of that tough optional 25 category. Those are tough races. I mean, 2-5 for me. I was between the 4-horse Heart Set and the 8 Green Dude. I put Green Dude in for third, but I went 2-5 and 8 in race number 6. On to the 7th and final. Got some 6250 older sprinters going that 6.5 furlong distance. I like the 4-horse Spirit River. I think he gets the lead in here.
Yeah.
He is dropping in class out of some tough races. I know a couple, you know, his wins were in conditional races, and last time was against It's Finally Friday. But, you know, that's a big drop. I don't see a lot of speed. I see Cowboy Commander, who kind of likes to lay up there. Wise Boss likes to lay up there, but not gun. I just see Spirit River getting a lead, and if he gets hooked, I'm in trouble. But I mean, I like him to win it. I put the 2 Leos in the house, who's always honest at the 6250 level. In for second, and Abil, I like that one for third. But Abil dropping from 12-5. He's got a big chance as well. I went 4-2-1.
I went with Abil. I thought that was a good effort last time. You know, he ran against Go for Guinness, Bear Rock and Roll Tracker. Those are tough horses. Any one of those would be 1-9 in here. And you know, impressed the pace. They went in 22-3 and 45, and figured to get, you know, a little tired, which he did. You know, getting beat 5 lengths by those horses, but that's no shame getting beat by those 3. So I put him on top. I put Casino Boss in the second spot. Another one that went down.
This is always eligible.
Yeah, another one that went down to Phoenix. He's come back here. He's worked good in a minute flat. David Lopez rides for Mike Anderson. I put him in the second spot. He's got the back class. You know, that race at Emerald, at least he got a start under his belt. Now he comes here and lands in for 62.50. And I put Leo's in the house in the third spot. Back in Nancy Beth's barn, she was doing very good with this horse before she lost him. And if there is a lot of speed in here, which, you know, there could be, was, you know.
I was handicapping my horse. No, not no speed, but I would earn it. It would go 22-1 to get it, but I mean, if I'm hooked in 22-1, I'm in trouble.
Then maybe, that's why I was kind of looking at it that way, like maybe Leo's in the house, Abil, Casino Boss, somebody can take advantage of the fast pace. I went 1-7-2 in the nightcap on Monday. That'll do it for our analysis of the Monday evening card. Up next on Scribbly Picks, Mike is always Twilight Racing. Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
4 o'clock. Back in race number 1, I went to the 2, Quiet Finality. I'm going to take a shot on this filly. 2-5-1 in the Monday opener. Race number 2, I went to the 3, Toreador. Over the 1, It's in Command. And the 5, Captain Jones. Race number 3, I went to the 2, Irish Romeo. Probably a poor pick, but we'll see. I like the way this horse was hitting the line in his last race, and maybe he can upset some more seasoned horses like the 5, Bear Rock and Roll, and the 6, Senor Rojo. Or probably number 6, Go for Guinness. Race number 4, I went to the 2, Mighty Mesa, over the 7, Soul Cat, and the 5, Group, but a very difficult 4th race. 5th race, I went to the 10, Lord Gallivic, 10-3-8 for me. Race number 6, I went to the 5, Laguna, or I went to the 2, Finally Diamonds, 2, 5, and 8. I'll correct that on the website. On the 7th race, I went to the 4, Spirit River. I'm going to go 4, 2, and 1.
You have a tough time with your picks. You got Roll in there.
Look at everything fumbling around.
On to my picks. In the first, I went to the 5, Bubbly on Ice, over the 4 and the 2. In the second, I went to the 6, Perfectly Reckless, over the 1 and the 5. In the third, I went to the 6, Go for Guinness, over Bear Rock and Roll, and Step Up for the Money. In the 4th, the 2-year-old race, I went to the 10, Don't Tell My Husband, over the 3 and the 4. In the 5th, I went to the 8, Briardic County, over the 9 and the 10. In the 6th, I went to the 5, Laguna Blaze, over the 2 and the 4. And in the nightcap, the 7th, I went to the 1, Abil, over the 7 and the 2.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to the Monday, August 31st edition of Handicappers Corner. Just a reminder that our next live card will be Friday, September the 4th.
First post time, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock on the Friday, and then Monday, the holiday, will be 1:50.
Labor Day, yeah.
Labor Day on September the 7th. So our next two live cards, September the 4th at 7 o'clock, and September 7th at 1:50. On behalf of Drew, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.